We are told that alchemy is a pseudoscience. We are told that the great minds of the Enlightenment, men like Isaac Newton and Leonardo da Vinci, were geniuses when it came to physics and art, but fools when it came to magic. But what if that isn't true? What if their obsession with turning lead into gold wasn't about greed, but about rediscovering a lost technology? When Isaac Newton died, the Royal Society refused to publish millions of words from his private journals. Why? Because they weren't about gravity or calculus, they were translations of an ancient text. A text that Newton believed contained the mathematical formula for the universe itself. That text is known as the Emerald Tablet. But the version Newton had was just a fragment, a translation of a translation. The original source is said to be much older, much more dangerous, and physically imperishable. Legends say the original tablets are not made of stone or gold. They are formed from a substance created through alchemical transmutation, a green, crystal-like ceramic that is harder than steel, immune to acid, and cannot be destroyed by time. They are held together with hoops of golden-colored alloy, and etched into their surface are characters in the ancient Atlantean language. Today, we are going to read the forbidden instruction manual of the pharaohs. We are going to look at the legacy of Thoth the Atlantean. We are going to explore the Hall of Amenti, the secret to immortality, and the terrifying warning about the brothers of darkness who walk among us. Who was Thoth? To the Egyptians, he was the god of wisdom, the scribe of the underworld, the architect of the Great Pyramid. To the Greeks, he was Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great. But the tablets tell a different story. They say he wasn't a god, he was a survivor. Thoth claims to be a priest-king from Atlantis, who escaped the Great Cataclysm, the Great Flood that sank his homeland. He traveled to the land of Chem, which we call Egypt, to rebuild civilization among the primitive hairy barbarians he found there. This aligns perfectly with what we discussed in our video about the Piri race map. A survivor culture, bringing high technology to a primitive world. Thoth says he buried his spaceship. Yes, he describes a ship of war that could fly to the stars. Deep beneath the Sphinx, in a place called the Hall of Records. He left the Emerald Tablets as a key, a guide for the future generations to unlock the wisdom of the ancients when they were finally ready. But are we ready? Let's look at what is written on them. The most famous phrase from the tablets is one you have probably heard, "As above, so below." Most people think this is just a poetic metaphor. It is not. It is a scientific principle. It describes the holographic nature of the universe. It means that the laws that govern the atom are the exact same laws that govern the galaxy. It means that if you can understand the microcosm, your own DNA, your own consciousness, you can unlock the power of the macrocosm. This is the basis of quantum physics, thousands of years before Planck or Einstein. The tablets are divided into several chapters, and they get progressively stranger. Thoth describes the Halls of Amenti. He says this is a place deep beneath the earth, a warp in space-time where the children of light sleep. He claims that he learned the secret of regenerating his body. He writes, "1,000 years have I walked the path, yet I age not." He describes a process of placing his body under a specific frequency of light, the flower of life, to renew his cells. Is this magic, or is this advanced bioengineering? We know today that aging is essentially the degradation of DNA telomeres. If a civilization had mastered the genetic code, immortality wouldn't be a miracle, it would be a medical procedure. Thoth claims he ruled Egypt for 16,000 years using this technology, passing his knowledge down to the priesthood before he finally departed this dimension. But the tablets contain more than just biology. They contain a warning that feels terrifyingly relevant to the modern world. Thoth speaks of a dark force. He calls them the Brothers of Darkness. He says they are entities from another dimension, formless and cold, who seek to enslave humanity. But here is the scary part. He says they cannot exist in our physical reality directly. They need bodies. Thoth writes, "In the form of man, they amongst us appear, but not of men are they." He describes how these entities take over the minds of leaders, kings, and powerful men. They hijack the human vessel to steer civilization toward chaos, war, and suffering. because they feed on negative energy. Does this sound familiar? Look at the history of human warfare. Look at the senseless destruction. It is almost as if an external force is driving us to destroy ourselves. Isaac Newton was obsessed with this text for a reason. He believed the Emerald Tablets contained the recipe for the Philosopher's Stone. But the stone wasn't just about making gold. It was a metaphor for the ultimate energy source, what we might call zero-point energy today. The alchemical gold was a state of matter where the atoms are perfectly aligned, creating a superconductor that defies gravity. Thoth describes building the Great Pyramid not with chisels and ropes, but with this power. He says, "I built the Great Pyramid, patterned after the Pyramid of Earth Force, burning eternally so that it too might remain through the ages." He implies the pyramid is a lens for this Earth Force. This matches exactly with the power plant theory we discussed in the previous videos. The Pyramid of Earth Force, he mentions, could be the magnetic field of the planet itself. There is another chapter that chills the blood. Thoth speaks of the Hound of the Barrier. He warns the reader not to open gates they cannot shut. He describes rituals that can tear the fabric of space-time, allowing things from the outer void to enter our world. He says, "Open not the gate to the beyond, lest the Watcher come forth." Think about what we are doing at CERN today. We are smashing particles together at light speed to open tiny black holes, to peek into other dimensions. We are playing with the fundamental fabric of reality. Are we, in our arrogance, knocking on the door of the Hound of the Barrier? The Emerald Tablets were hidden for a reason. Legend says they were placed in the Great Pyramid, then moved to the Maya in South America, and finally returned to the Hall of Records. Why hide them? Because knowledge is a weapon. In the hands of a wise man, atomic energy creates electricity. In the hands of a fool, it destroys a city. Thoth realized that humanity was falling into a dark age, the Kali Yuga. We were losing our connection to the source. So he encoded the science into mysticism. He turned physics into religion, hoping that the symbols would survive even if the understanding was lost. But now, the seal is breaking. We have rediscovered the tablets, we have translated the text, and we are seeing that the magic of Thoth is just science we haven't officially invented yet. The flower of life pattern, found burned into the stone at the Temple of Osiris in Abydos. It's a geometric representation of cellular division. The staff of Hermes, with the two snakes. It's the double helix of DNA. They showed us the answers thousands of years ago. So where are the physical Emerald Tablets now? Some say they are still hidden in a pocket dimension in the Hall of Amenti, guarded by the Lords of the Cycles. Others believe the Vatican seized them during the Crusades, and they are sitting in the same vault as the original Book of Enoch. But the text is out. The virus of truth has been released. Thoth ends the tablets with a prophecy. He says that one day the Atlanteans will return. When mankind has learned to live in peace, when we have stopped warring and destroying, the halls of Amenti will open, and the ancient masters will rise to greet us. But if we fail, if we let the brothers of darkness win, the earth will be cleansed by fire and water once again, just like it was 12,000 years ago. The cycle is closing. We are standing on the precipice. We can look at these texts as dusty myths, or we can look at them as a survival guide left by a father for his children. The choice is ours. What do you think? Was Thoth a mythological god, or an Atlantean scientist? Is the as above, so below principle the key to quantum physics? And are the brothers of darkness influencing our world leaders today? Tell me your theory in the comments. I read every single one, and you need to subscribe for the next video, because if Thoth is right, and civilization was destroyed by fire before, we need to look for the evidence. Next time, we are going to investigate the radioactive ruins of Mohenjo-Daro and the evidence of ancient nuclear war.